Hey Capricorn, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings. So take what's working for you, leave what doesn't. Not every word in this reading is going to resonate with everyone who watches it. So just keep that in mind. We're doing a collaborative process here. I'm using my intuition to read the cards. You're using your intuition to figure out which ones relate to you and which ones are going to be most useful for you. So hopefully you find something of value here. We're going to be doing oracle deck cards over here, and then over on Vimeo, we'll do a more traditional tarot spread. All right. Oh. Okay. All right, so abracadabra, there's been a lot of growth here and the potential and the possibility to start manifesting something, or a better way to say that is to start making something happen. Start the process in reality of what it is that you want to accomplish. But there's been a lot of growth. There's something you've been very committed to. Your mind has been able to understand different aspects. You're starting to understand this would be like if you were starting a small business or something like that, you would like be starting to understand sort of some of the concepts you need to get. Maybe you've read a lot about this. Maybe you're starting to get there. It's something you're looking, you've been very committed to and you've been looking into. But this is your chance to actually you can actually get this started. You can actually, you've made a wish and you can actually start making it happen in reality. You're ready. Is what this is. You're ready. Abracadabra, this might have to do with words. This might have to do with a conversation you need to have. This might have something to do with a contract or something having to do with your words helping to create this reality. So this is saying you're ready to make your move. So you don't need to keep, you'll need to do continuing education on whatever this is you're talking about, but you're ready to make your move in a totally new direction. Whatever you've been part of here was a great idea. It worked really well. It was really awesome. Sounded good. This is great, but it got you to where you are right now. Now, where you're at right now, being in here, this is clear. This isn't working. This isn't working out. There's something, and it can be really embarrassing. I'm getting a sense of embarrassment as you leap from this. This is an acknowledgement that this thing that seemed like a great idea and looked really good and seemed like a really good idea, and you're sort of, it's not. This is going to crash and burn. You want to get out of it. You don't want to be here. You don't want to be here. But the thing about this to remember is that this got you here. This is the real ideal. The real deal. This is the real idea. This is what's actually going to happen. And this was the mechanism that brought you there. You wouldn't be here if you hadn't tried this. So, and life is full of redirection. There's a card for this, right? Redirection. Everyone on this planet is going to get redirected. Everyone on this planet thinks that they, at some point thinks multiple times probably in their life, thinks that this is a great idea. This is what I need to do. And it is what they need to do. And it is what they're meant to do. And then later on they get a different idea in a different direction. This is not anything to be embarrassed about. It is part of the learning process, part of the growth process, and part of part of being a human being on this planet, right? Could you have predicted that this was going to fall apart? It really didn't look like it was. It really didn't look like it was going to come to bits and pieces. So this is like a plan you had, an idea you had. It's not happening. You have to bail on it. This is where you're meant to be, and this was actually how you were meant to get here. So, and then this is the reality. This is like, it's time to take that leap. It's time to go here onto something more viable, onto this new reality. You've grown, you've seen what you need to see here. You know what you need to know. You've grown and you've developed, and it's time for you to make that move. You're ready to make that move. Don't let shame hold you back though, right? These ones that stick with this plan, these are your options, right? Plummet to the earth or grab onto something that's actually going to work out and work better for you. It's not to say that these people are wrong. They've got their own path. They've got their own thing, their own lessons to learn, their own stuff they need to do. And yeah, this did seem like a great idea. Looked like a great idea. But the divine plan was actually not, because we can look at this. Let's say we're the divine and we're looking at this. We can see that this was never meant to go the distance. This was never meant to go the distance. This, we know, from our perspective here as being, much larger than the people caught in the situation, that we can see that this one is the real deal, that this is a seed. This is an actual seed. This thing right here, this is the actual seed. This is the thing that you actually need to do. And you've grown, you've been very committed, but it is time to change of plans. You're ready. The observer. So I love how she's got these seeds in her head, all these ideas of what could really happen, of reality. So there is something that you're very focused on. It's very intuitive. It feels really good to focus on it. Maybe you get distracted sometimes, but that's normal. But you're very focused on something. There could be something that you're watching, something that you're paying close attention to. This has information for you. This is going to help you, guide you, give you ideas perhaps on what it is that you want to accomplish. And there is a sense of staying focused, right? It's okay to get distracted from time to time, but overall, there's a sense that you need to stay focused on something. It should generally feel pretty good to stay focused on this thing, or it should be satisfying in some way to stay focused on this thing. So remain focused on this new direction that you want. Keep looking at it. There's a sense of almost indulging yourself here, in watching. And maybe there's a sense of watching how other people have made this transition, or being very focused on that. But I love how this dandelion fluff shows up in this observer as well, as far as like her ideas. She's got some ideas and they've got legs. They're the right thing. They've got possibilities. So maybe you have a couple options. And it doesn't even matter how you start moving. It's just that you start moving. But remain focused on this goal, okay? And maybe observing, watching what other people have done, watching how other people make this transition, make this leap. That's the card I wanted to see. I'm so excited about that. Yeah, nature. Again, we have the dandelion heads. We've got 3 cards now with dandelion heads. I can only think of one more here that I've got with dandelion heads on it. So there's something about that, something about the real seeds, about something that seems like it's over, but it's actually just the beginning. And that's what we get here. Something that seems like it's over, but it's the beginning. And then both of these have, it's the nature of something. I almost see like a wrestling match here. And this could be finding solace in nature. This could be the cycles of nature. This could be the ending of something, which is the beginning of something new between 2 people or between 2 entities. You've got an audience though, but they're not getting involved. This looks like a ring. And then we have battle. So, and both of these have observers, possibly online, possibly in reality. People are watching this go down here. A battle, a fight. It's the nature of the thing. It has to happen. Nature here is not pleasant. We maybe have found like some solace, some refuge somewhere. Again, there are a lot of ideas here. Again, this has to do with the maturation process. Yes, the maturation process that's creating the reality, right? She's basically touching an actual seed here, but there's been this whole like growth and very natural maturation process of this dandelion. We've got one seed that's viable. We've got one seed that's viable. We are focused on this seed. I mean, maybe several of them could work, right? We could have grabbed any of them here, but we're only able to grab onto one idea and one opportunity. And we need to remain focused on that. So that's what I'm seeing here is this maturation process, this whole very natural process here. But where you're at is there's a battle. There's a fight, an argument possibly. possibly the first of many skirmishes. This isn't called war, this is called battle. There's a battle here. It's in the nature of how you've grown and what you've learned and how you understand and how you perceive the world and your perspective on the world. This observer has their own perspective, and they're very much embracing it and very much ensconced in their own perspective of how something's going on. So the more you've observed, the more you've developed your own perspective, the more you've grown into your own perspective, well, now it's time to butt heads, because you're not just staying where you're told. You're developing a whole new perspective and a whole new focus for yourself, right? You're abandoning these people. That's because these people are dumb. And well, that came out a little harsh, I'm sorry, but they're not seeing reality. You are, I mean, we want to be careful with that because our perceptions can be a little bit tricky. We want to trust but verify our perception of reality. But you definitely are perceiving something. You're perceiving it very closely, very accurately. It's causing you to change direction in what you want to do. This is a very natural, normal process. And it's going to create some headbutting here because you're not going along with what these people, they want you to stay in the bucket, right? This reminds me of the lobsters. I don't know, it's kind of a gruesome story, but like lobsters, if you put them all alive in a boiling bucket, maybe one might try to crawl out, but then the other ones like pull it back in because they're like, oh, look, you're creating a ladder, but instead they pull it down into, so then they all die instead of one making it out, right? So that's a little bit of, you're going to get some blowback here because you're abandoning an agreed upon plan that looked really good. You might be bailing on that, and they're not going to like it, right? They're mad as hell here. They're like, you're leaving this. We need you. We need you to play your part here. And you're like, play my part? Play my part on the Titanic? Like, come on, man. I'm grabbing a life jacket and I'm out of here. You guys can continue to stay in what is very clearly a doomed situation, but I'm leaving. You're going to get blowback from that. So you can expect that, especially if you've developed your own perspective, you've committed to your own growth and development, and now you take a step outside of what's expected, outside of perhaps an agreement you've had, they're not gonna like it. But just be prepared for that. That doesn't mean, just because other people don't like it, doesn't mean you're wrong, right? Does not mean you're wrong. People don't like lots of things, especially things that challenge their worldview and challenge their commitments and what they want to do. But here you're choosing yourself, you're choosing your own growth, you're choosing your own development. Stay focused on what you want. Do not let this battle dissuade you. All right. You're already doing it. Yeah, this is something, a path that you've already committed to. We see that clearly in Abracadabra. This is something that you're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. This could be your own true north star, what you really want. You've grown and you've developed a lot. You're touching it. This is your true north star. You're already doing it. You're already okay. So you've already either leapt, and maybe you have yet to grab this, but you're already doing it. There's a lot here, actually. So adjustments are required. So we need to, yeah, for sure, adjustments are required. You can't just do the same old thing you've been doing every day for your entire life. An adjustment is required. You're remaining focused, but to remain focused on your own growth, you have to change something because this isn't working. You're already on the new path. It's like you're on two paths. Like you're already on the new path, and there's still sort of a little more that needs to change. Maybe you've already made those changes, but adjustments either have been required or are still required, probably still required, because if you've been riding in this truck for your whole life and now you're on this motorcycle, you're going to need some different skills here. Show the world the real you, being authentic, right? You've grown, you've changed. This is a very authentic choice. This isn't a choice of like, well, what will everybody else think? Well, I have to conform. I have to be like everybody else. I have to be like how I've been told to be. And I have to sit down and shut up and be, and go where I'm told to go. This is, show the world the real you, being authentic, being really you. Aquarius, full moon in Aquarius. So there's a lot of obviousness. There's a lot of clarity here. There's, you maybe already know how people are going to react. Don't let it bother you. Still be true to you. Be focused on what you want, on how you see the world, on your perspective, what you've seen, and continue to focus on that. So you're already doing it, though. I like this. You're already doing it. You're already making the adjustments. You're already showing the world the real you. This is just, I think, telling you that the blowback you get, don't let it switch you up. Don't let it mess with you. Look at the bigger picture. Full moon in Sagittarius, right? We were already doing that, weren't we? We were looking at the bigger picture. We were looking at the sinking ship and realizing, unlike other people in the sinking ship, realizing what we have to do. So looking at the bigger picture, adjusting to a larger reality. Nothing will come of this situation, especially the battle is what I'm seeing. Don't let the battle scare you or spook you. Don't worry about the battle. Don't worry about the argument, or don't let it spook you. Nothing will come of the situation. So this, to me, these two together are looking like, look at the bigger picture. There may be, right? We're not talking war, we're talking battle. We're talking a skirmish here. So, so looking at the bigger picture, yeah, we may have a little skirmish here, but overall, are you heading in the right direction? Are you heading in the direction that you want to go in? And our answer is yes, you are already heading in that direction. So keep your eye on the prize, keep your eye on the bigger picture. Whatever comes in to distract you and dissuade you, just, it's no big thing. Just keep going. I mean, it's going to feel like a big thing, but it's no big thing. And then we also have soul family, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone, which is interesting because I see a lot of solo here, you having to take off solo. And this is saying, be authentic, be authentically you, and ask for help where you need to. Don't try to do everything by yourself. There are people, I think that there are people that know, there are people that understand. Right? Weren't we talking about like observing someone else and how someone else dealt with this situation? It's possible that you have someone around you that's already dealt with this situation and can be a real resource to you and wants to support you. It's a mutually supportive situation. Soul family, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. So with this help, with this battle, you've got people on the sidelines that you could possibly tag team with or tap as resources. I also like it coming in with nature, right? Because we have these two crows very peacefully away from this, right? And I see also like there's a battle, but there's this peace that came in afterwards. Like this is part of a natural, normal process. There are going to be battles, but we can find peace. Even we can transition into peace. We can transition into this. We can make that. So I do feel like there may be a skirmish here. We may be able to find some common ground here. And yeah, you don't have to do this alone. So, our little prayer here. Loving lobster, simplicity, steadfastness, safety. I feel this sense of safety in nature. So the prayer is, curious creature exploring deep waters, guide me to a new discovery. I like it because we also have new direction or new purpose. Redirection is what I usually like to call it. New discovery and new direction. So there is this new discovery of a way you can go, a way you can leave a battle, a way out of a battle in a situation. I want to mention circle of security as far as like ways to interact with people, especially parent-child relationships. It's a very valuable resource. Circle of security is really, they talk a lot about, I've worked with them before, and they talk a lot about being able to shift a conversation mid-conversation, being able to restart, being able to refocus yourself on what you truly want out of the conversation and what you truly want to convey. Because sometimes we can convey concern and care for other people, but it comes off as very aggressive and it can feel like more of an attack, like you're incompetent, you're incapable of caring for yourself. When in fact, what we meant to say was, I love you, I support you, and if something goes wrong, please come home, and I will receive you. So for those of you that might be dealing with family relationships or something like that, I highly recommend Circle of Security for some of that information. So yeah, loving lobster. So I feel like this loving lobster Oh my gosh, and I was talking about the lobsters, wasn't I? I was talking about the lobsters in the pot, and they're all trying to save themselves and everybody dies. So I guess I don't really perceive lobsters as loving, but I do love that the lobsters showed up. I am loving the lobster right now, that this lobster actually showed up, because we were talking about that the lobster is trying to get out. Yeah, new discovery is what you're looking for. Maybe a new way of doing something, a new way maybe even of approaching an old battle, a new way to argue, a new way to approach a topic that's been contentious. It's this nothing will come of this situation tells me that it's not like an all is lost situation or something's been completely destroyed. There's been a battle. It's the nature of the situation. That there will be battles, that there will be struggles. But this is looking for a new way to deal with something, taking something in a new direction. This almost looks like this could be an argument, like you're trying to say what you want. It turns into a big argument, and this gives you an opportunity though it's an argument with someone that you care about, and this gives you an opportunity though to switch modes. To see, once the battle gets started, you can switch modes and create a more peaceful, loving form of communication while still being authentic to who you are. So yeah, I feel like if there's a skirmish here, don't sweat it. You can redo, or you can find a different way to do this. So I hope that was helpful, Capricorn. Thanks for joining me over here. If you so choose, come join me over on Vimeo. I'd love to see you over there. Well, I never see you, but, I'd love to connect over there.